All right. Welcome to Dallas Cowboys Take. You got Sean, Lucha Oy, Tyler, myself, Ryu. After a big win on Christmas Eve against the hated Philadelphia Eagles, crazy game, exciting game, heart-throbbing game, all the above. But let's just get straight into it. I'm gonna start with you, Tyler. Give me your first impressions of the game. Or overall thoughts. Go ahead, either one.
Overall thoughts, Dallas, Philly. Perseverance, Dak Prescott coming through. Dak Prescott, other than that interception and then a couple mistakes that he made at the end, that final drive, he actually looked amazing. He looked like that, that pre-injury Dak Prescott that we saw when he was throwing for 400 yards a game. Defense is beat up. They look beat up. They look tired. Mike Parsons looks tired. They're carrying the load out there. And then the other guy that I've been very critical of is Barr, and he made a lot of the same, like, too slow to react or too slow to the plays, but he also made a lot of good plays in this game. So that's a good sign that he's getting better. It's more reps, I guess. But those are my thoughts. A win's a win, a good win. I don't want to hear that shit about Minshew's a backup and all this because they beat us with our backup too.
Oh, yeah.
If anything, Minshew could be a starter on a lot of teams. He just happens to be on a team that has a better quarterback. Right. And, he has a lot of starting experience. Cooper Rush doesn't have as much starting experience as Minshew does.
Well, we'll get into that. This guy used to be a starter, so.
But those are my overall thoughts.
All right. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, same thing, man. The win's a win. Had a shaky start, but resilience is the key. I think Dak had the game of the season by far. He balled out 347 yards, 3 touchdowns. We all saw that. His balls were spot on. I mean, he was throwing dimes like video games, man. It was good to see.
Yeah.
Defense is a little bit off, but we're hurt. We got to remember that. We have 4 starters out right now, so that's a huge deal for us. And a lot of cover 3 is being played because I think that Dan Quinn doesn't have any confidence in our young guys right now, so we got to play cover 3. And he, he laid off the pedal a little bit as far as blitzing and stunts and all that stuff because it leaves these young guys vulnerable. But overall, I liked it. And you guys are killing more haters, but I like the game, man. I like the calls. There was good calls when needed, and that was my overall thought. And I gave Dak the game ball.
Boy, what's your overall thought?
Overall thought was I just thought, okay, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I was one of those that just like, God damn it, here we go again. It picked 6, whatever. But then you made a good point, right? You're like, maybe he just got that out of his system, and then once he did get it out of the system, he just had a fantastic, awesome game, man. And that was probably the best I've seen him play all year, dude. Like, he looked like one of the best top 5 quarterbacks in the league right there, bro. And like from there, I just think the team fed off his energy. Like, he just shook it off, and then everyone got confidence, and then boom, from there we just took off, man.
My overall thoughts was I was a little shocked a few things. Shocked that their offense played that well. They scored 34 points on our defense. Shocked that our defense played that lousy, and shocked that Dak was as good as he was, and shocked that Kellen was as good as he was. That he wasn't perfect. Maybe we'll get into that later about some of the play calling, but a majority of his play calls,
I don't understand why you would think Dak was shocking on Dak. Dak's shown that a lot.
Because he was, like Sean said, he was throwing dimes out there. I mean, everything was on point. Like he was hot. Like, it was one of those things to where if Kellen Moore decided just to pass the whole damn time, I might have been okay with it because that's how hot he was. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. So that's why I was shocked. Okay. So those are my overall thoughts. But before we go any further, I always got to remind you guys, if you're new to the show, comment, subscribe. We want to beat the algorithm, so please comment and hit the like notification anytime we go do a show. But and then I don't know if you guys heard, there's a Philly fan that had an Instagram account. On his Instagram, he was so pissed off that he said something about Dak and his mom and his brother that died, and that he hopes that his other brother Tad dies. Did you guys hear about that?
Oh,
No, what the hell is
That
that?
Philly-
was he wearing number 6 jersey?
You know what? I don't know what he was wearing, but
I think I saw something like that.
but I'm gonna
Typical
put a
Philly,
picture up on this video. I'm gonna insert a picture to this video because I have his Instagram. I saw it and I was like, that's just wrong, man. It's just a game. You know, we all love and we all support our team and we're passionate about it, but wishing that upon anybody that's just terrible. So I get you guys didn't hear about it, but you know, it is what it is. And also I'm gonna throw this out there too, because you guys watched ESPN or Fox Sports.
First of all, Dak is ass, right? Can I say on TV? Because he is ass.
Say whatever you want.
Okay.
Joey, I know literally, bro, I know you. Shady McCoy was just talking all kinds of shit on Dak.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Shit, calling him ass, calling him trash. I don't know if you guys saw the show yesterday. He was totally
No, I
different.
missed it.
He couldn't say shit. Like he was just like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I was wrong. Not the person on Dak, but I was wrong. So
Shady, did Dak Prescott quiet the critics?
I'm going to say yes. Listen, man, listen. This thing is not personal with Dak Prescott. I don't know the guy.
Clip this out
I'm
on
just keeping
social.
it real.
Clip it out.
I only talk about what I see. That's all I talk about. And I think he did a phenomenal job this Sunday. He balled out.
guy had to eat crow today, yesterday. So I love that. That was cool. So I just the Philly fans getting pissed off and crying about things, just love it. So let's get into I want to get to the defense first because our defense is not doing very well. And I'm gonna start with you, Sean, because you're a defensive guy. Besides our injuries, I mean, we didn't do too bad against the run, but besides our injuries, what do you see that we need to like? What can we do? Because those two of those 4 starters aren't coming back. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, we gave away 355 yards in the air. You can't do that by far, right? But Dan Quinn is dialing back a little bit. You guys noticed we had no stunts at all. We had no blitzing at all.
He didn't blitz at all.
Because what do you do when you're defensive coordinator? You fear when you blitz somebody, you leave something open, some part of the field open, right? So he's trying to balance it as much as possible. But your question on what we're going to do, we're going to trust in these guys. Bland, 5 picks already, guys. He's not that bad, but he's a rookie, so he will show rookie tendencies, right? And he does show rookie tendencies every once in a while. But for the most part, he's playing good. He could be, maybe, possibly up for rookie of the year. I don't know. But he got 5 picks since he's been in. Maybe I was listening to
Crazy.
One of my guys, and he that I listen to on one of the platforms. I don't know what it is, but yeah, he's balling. And then we have to put in guys like Wright, right? Nashon Wright doesn't play very much. 2 years in the league, he's still kind of a rookie at Oregon State, but he had 6 tackles and 2 assists too. So he was balling all right too, right? But still, did he make some rookie mistakes and leave people open down the middle? Yeah, lots of times, right? So we got these rookie things that we need to iron out, and they just need to be coached. But what I think down the line is Dan Quinn's not going to have a choice but to go back to what we went to before.
Sean, did that guy from Minnesota play? That guy we picked up? Did he play slot corner?
He played.
He did? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
he played.
A little bit, right? I think he played yeah. But those are guys that we're going to move in too. That's why we made the big moves to put all these guys on the practice squad. You know what I mean? To step it up. But our rookies are stepping up. I mean, look at Bland. He's crazy. But to answer your question, he's got to go back and he's got to trust them. That's all he's got to do. We got to get away from this cover 3. The cover 3 is killing us. The cushion is way too much. We're paying 10 to 12 yards off these guys because Dan Quinn's scared of these guys getting beat.
Yeah.
He's got to put confidence in them.
So, and then Bland, I think he was the 4th, 5th round pick out of Fresno State. I saw him play at Fresno State. I went to a game when they played. I can't remember who they played, but I think it might have been Boise State. But I was there, and he intercepted the ball in the end zone, took it like 100 yards to the house. It was crazy. He got called back from penalty, but that guy might be a steal. So T, why? Please tell me why we cannot get a freaking sack. We've had one in the last 3 games. What's the deal?
It's a lot to do with what Sean said. It's cover 3, and you got DBs playing 10 yards, 12 yards off. So for quarterbacks, it's literally 1, 2, 3, throw. 1, 2, 3, throw. 1, 2, throw. And it's quick routes to these receivers. And I think at least once per game for the last couple of games, Trayvon Diggs, they're catching him on a slant and go and taking advantage of his aggressiveness. So he's got to dial that in. Yeah, but as far as sacks go, it's hard because you think about it, these D linemen, Micah Parsons, they're going 110% every single snap, and they're not getting there because the ball's getting out so quick. And then even when they do get there, because they try to twist or they try a spin move and go inside, we've been playing mobile quarterbacks. Minshew's mobile. He's not a runner like, Hurts, but he's mobile. He can move around. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence can run. And even David Mills is more of an athlete than people give him credit for. And these guys are just avoiding the pressure, and they're rolling out, and then that hurts us even more because now our DBs are even more exposed. They got to be more disciplined in their pass rushing. If Micah Parsons is going inside, then somebody's got to be responsible for the outside. Somebody's got to stunt that way, a linebacker, quarterback spy, whatever the case is. We got 10 stupid windshield wipers. We got stupid there we go. Tannehill this coming up week, so he's not as mobile. So hopefully we can get a couple more sacks, keep him in the pocket.
He's not
but
playing.
they're obviously
actually Tannehill's out. Tannehill's out. It's the what's his name?
Oh, it's Malik.
It's
Willis,
the one they drafted from Liberty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he can't throw very well, but he can run. So he's gonna run the option.
Run?
He's gonna run the RPOs. We're gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah, so they're probably gonna run the ball at least 40, 45 times against us. So we gotta be ready for that. The defense, the pass rushers specifically are getting tired, because a lot of rushing, and a lot of times they're getting pressure and they're just a step late, and it'll come back though. It'll come back, and we'll get some guys back, and I'm not worried about the pass rush. Hopefully with more reps, as these young guys in the defensive backfield and linebacking core, as they get more reps, they're going to start getting better. They're going to start feeling a groove and getting their feet under them. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Luke Gifford was playing a lot of linebackers.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah, I saw him.
So I mean, that's one of those
Ryan's
young
boy.
guys. So he didn't do anything like majorly. He didn't get like exposed as a garbage linebacker, but he didn't do anything flashy either. He just kind of held up a spot. So hopefully we get some of these guys back. LVE's coming back this week. He's better for the linebacking purposes. He's better in pass coverage than some of the guys we have in right now. So
do you think that Micah Parsons needs a couple new moves in his repertoire?
Yeah, we got to get to that shit, man. I'm watching the game with my brother, and I'm like, dude, this guy keeps doing the inside move. Where's your spin move?
Outside in, that's it.
Outside in, yeah. Where's your spin move? Where's your spin move? Fuck.
I'm telling you, he's tired.
Yeah, but he's doing the same move the whole game. In the beginning of the game, first quarter, second quarter, the same. Like,
he either bull rushes or he just does that one move. He just tries that bull rush all the time, or he goes inside. He's like, I don't understand why he's not.
But how many times has he held? And it's bullshit that they don't call it, man. He's held almost every other play.
So you guys know.
I think it's a lot to do with the coverage. Like Sean said, it's the coverage. We're playing, off, letting them throw the ball underneath, just kind of playing everything in front of us, and that's why the guys can't get to the quarterback.
Michael Parsons got the Shaq effect. You remember Shaq was so dominant in the NBA, like they wouldn't call fouls on him, against him or on him, whatever, because he's so big and like it's the same thing with Michael Parsons. He's so good. Yeah. They don't want to call holding on because they can pretty much call it every play, but they don't want to do it. It's like
Ryan, you know the holding calls I saw in Philly that day? They didn't call it on him.
But I will give the rest credit because they pretty much called it even all game.
Yeah,
they let him play. They did let him play. So I didn't, not once did Sean and I or my brother did we complain about the refs. So we usually do, but not once did we complain about the refs. But Lucha Libre Boy, question you is offense 40 points. Can they? Because we know how Dak is. In your opinion, can they do it consistently throughout the playoffs? I mean, we're gonna have to play Tampa Bay probably first round. Can they put up 30 a game
in the playoffs? Yes, I do. Because now with Ty in there, what he's shown, to at least Dak. I mean, I know he caught that one; it was great and everything. But you could already see all the younger guys going to looking at. They're like talking to him on the sidelines. He's showing that veteranness, to all the other young receivers we have. And I'm telling you, he's gonna be a big pickup, and people are gonna say, "Wow, this is gonna be probably the best pickup for Dallas. He's gonna put us over that top." I just really think it's gonna help CeeDee and Gallup and everybody else once he gets more familiar in there, a lot more plays. I'm telling you right now, they're gonna be dynamic, especially with Pollard and the running game too. Once that gets established, because then you're like you said, right? They're gonna have to pick their poison.
No, what I said is they're gonna have to outscore teams now because our defense is not what it used to be because all the injuries. So they're gonna have to
but
score 30 a game.
I think the defense, well, we get up early on teams, our defense will look like, because now they just have to worry about rushing and passing. We get up big on these teams.
It depends if we play. Play the
I know,
Packers.
I
Play the
know.
Packers again, but which we won't play the Packers unless they advance and we advance. But we play the
Well,
Bucks.
it's going to be Carolina or the Bucks. Be the bottom line.
We get a big.
You're exactly right, though. We got to play from ahead.
Got it. We got to play from
That's the thing. We need to
We
play
got to
ahead.
outscore people. You guys realize you take the Jacksonville game and it pisses us off. The Jacksonville game
God,
and the Green
dude.
Bay game, 2 games that we were up by 14 and 17. We win those. We're in the driver's seat right now.
So wait. So if we would have won the
pisses you
Green
off.
Bay game in Jacksonville, we'd be at least tied right now, right? Or one game up.
We control our own destiny.
Oh, we control.
No, we would be
okay.
we would be one game up because we'd have an NFC East division lead.
Yeah, we control our own
That's
destiny.
right. God,
that's it.
just because we lost it.
It's crazy.
Too. Fuck.
But that's what's crazy is that you guys everybody's got to remember. And I think I told you this way. At the beginning of the season, when Dak got hurt, we're done. Everybody's like, we're done. That's it. We're finished. We're not gonna. Everybody, all the commentators, all the experts, Dak's play they're done. They're not gonna make playoffs. Forget about it.
Yep.
Cooper Rush goes in, goes 4-1. Look at our record now, 11-4. I mean, that's pretty good. And then with the 2 games that we should have won, we should have won those games. The other 2, we lost to the Eagles legitimately. We lost to the Bucs legitimately. The other 2 we should have won. We're a pretty fucking good team, dude. Like if you really think about it, we're pretty good. Now, do we make mistakes and we have boneheaded time management problems, which we'll get into in a second?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. And that we had to clean that shit up. But
I'm glad this is being recorded. I'm glad that you're saying that, man.
no, yeah, we are a good team. if you look at things in the sense, like all the whole season, you're like, fuck, we're actually pretty good. Like our record should be better than what it is. But
It's always offense doing good, defense kind of struggling. Defense doing good, offense. If we put them both together,
That's a great point, Sean.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Is that they pick each other up when the defense is having a bad day, the offense is picking them up, and vice versa. We've seen the defense make key stops in close games.
That's true.
Like fumbles on the 1 yard line by Detroit or the 2-point conversion stop against the Colts. There's always that one play the defense makes that kind of turns things around for the offense and vice versa. So, that is a sign of a good team. That's a sign of a good team.
Talk about plays. Now, I've told you guys on our chat, I said the biggest play of the game, obviously, was T.Y. Hilton, 3rd and 30. Right?
Phillies take over. Here's Prescott. Pressure again. Steps in, just throws it deep as far as his arm can take him. Looking for Hilton. Oh, he caught it! A bomb on 3rd and 30 in his first.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
without that,
I watched the replay. Actually, the replay's out right now, but I watched the replay, and that's the second biggest play because 2 plays before that, we fumbled, and Biotish got the fumble. That was the biggest play there. Because if they get the ball right there, we're done.
They had the ball, dude.
They had the ball.
Got it.
He takes it out of his hands or whatever and grabs it. So that was the biggest play. T.Y. Hilton was number 2 because if T.Y. Hilton drops that ball, we punt. But if that fumble was recovered by them, they got it right there. So you got to give Biotish.
But all these good teams that find a way to win. I mean, that's the thing, man. We're finally doing that. All these other teams we saw it against us prior years, and we're like, damn. But now we're getting those breaks. And it's finally. I think it's just because, we finally want it. I feel like every player wants it, and it comes down to leadership. And that's why all those Dak haters, I don't like it because he does more than his actions on the field, off the field, in the locker room, pumping these guys up. He does a lot more than on the field, off the field, just as much as he does on the field. So it's
I know, Sean. Do you always hear Bart Scott talk so much shit on us?
A lot of
He's
all the time, dude.
He never says anything good about Dak or Dallas, bro. Nothing.
I want to say something. As one of the Dak haters. I want to say something. I'm giving a lot of praise to Dak because I haven't said this in the group chat, but it's something I've been thinking about for a couple weeks since Dak Prescott's been throwing all these interceptions and everyone's like, oh, he needs to rein in these interceptions. Jerry Jones is like, yeah, he needs to stop throwing interceptions. something that I feared would happen is that Dak Prescott would clam up and he would start playing conservative, not take any shots, not take any chances. And he hasn't done that. He hasn't let the interceptions control his game.
Yeah.
Not at all.
He has continued to sling the rock. He has continued to be aggressive, and sometimes he doesn't make decisions fast enough, and sometimes he makes bad decisions. But he doesn't let it affect him mentally. So a lot of praise for Dak in that aspect. A lot of improvement, and that's coming from one of the Dak haters.
Yeah, well, that's
I
cool,
think
man.
a lot of people should watch Brady. I mean, we all saw Brady that game, right? He throws picks and doesn't give a shit. You know, he's the GOAT. He's like, I throw a pick and I just come back and I just come back again and come again and then throws another pick. And I'm like, what the hell is that guy doing? He threw it right to the guy. He doesn't care. He comes back and he freaking goes back in overtime and wins the freaking game, right? You know, or last quarter. It's just, I think all these quarterbacks, they have to look at him, man.
You gotta have amnesia, man. You short-term memory. But get it out of your system, get out of your head. Okay, that's how that looked like. That's how Dak was. He went right back out there. Then he went like, what is it?
9 out of 9, like 10.
11 out of 11, 19 in a row, right, Sean? Something like that.
Yeah, did you see Dak's press conference? He said, first of all, I want to talk about the pick right off the bat, you know? And he said that's about the easiest pick that guy will ever have to have in his career. He was like, you know, so.
Tyler mentioned earlier about, you had mentioned earlier about Bart Scott, whatever.
Yeah.
So I knew come Monday it's going to be, there's Minshew, the second string quarterback, and blah, 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 and this and that. That's what came out. It's like, really? Cowboys beat Eagles, but they had a second string quarterback, and they had 4 turnovers. And Tyler made a good point on our chat. Well, wait, when you guys beat us, we had a second string quarterback, and we had 4 turnovers also, but they're not talking about that.
Nope.
They're like,
and 10 penalties.
And 10 penalties, and our left tackle was out, and our tight end was out. But they don't talk about that. They talk about how they don't even want to bother with that. But they always want to make excuses why the Eagles lost. I mean, look, Minshew used to be a starter. I told you, I was like, this guy's a better passer than Hurts. It's going to be a problem. This is why me and T actually picked us to lose. It's going to be a problem with this guy because he can actually throw, and we're banged up in the secondary. T and I knew he was gonna rip us apart. Like, we knew that. So he did. And he did. He's a good quarterback, dude.
I was saying it was going to be a Minshew moment, and he almost had a Minshew moment.
Right. Yep. I mean, so these guys keep talking shit. Like they just it was like, you guys don't ever want to give us credit, but I'm okay with that. Keep doing that. And they're talking about should the Eagles be worried? And everybody's like, hell no, they shouldn't be worried. They're a way better team. Eagles had 6 sacks, but they did have 6 sacks, but one was a kneel down that counts as a sack. One was Dak was running to the line of scrimmage. He slid. And the other one he gave up at the last possession. He just went down like a bonehead, and we're going to talk about in a minute. Those are 3 sacks. The other 3 sacks were legit. Those 3 were just given to them. So, I mean, they did. Obviously they had their sacks, but they didn't play well. We scored fucking 40 points on them, but they don't want to give us credit for that.
All I know is, they're the number 1 pass defense in the NFL. They got the best cornerback tandem. And you know what? Their defense is healthy.
Right.
Their defense is healthy right now. They don't have any major injuries, and we put up 40 points on them.
Hey T, do you agree with the playmaker when he said to Dan Orlovsky? He goes, yeah, because we beat him, we're the best team. And then Dan Orlovsky looked at him like he's crazy. You're not the best team, bro. Like, I go, yeah, we just I put a 40 burger on them. I don't give a shit if they had Hurts there or not. Like, do you agree? Some aspect.
Yeah, Hurts doesn't play defense.
That's perfect. That's what I was about to say. Yeah, exactly. They keep on saying, Hurts wasn't in. No shit, he wasn't in, but Hurts doesn't play defense. We didn't beat Hurts. Our offense scored 40 points.
Some of those passes that Minshew threw, Jalen couldn't have made.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
Right. And
I do think if Jalen's in, it changes the game because they do run the ball more.
Big time.
Yeah. They'll run the ball more. But that being said, then that's just going to lower the score for both teams, not just us. You know
exactly.
What I mean? So,
they scored 34 points. How much more are they going to score with Jaden? Maybe another 3, 6. I don't know, but they scored a lot of points. They didn't punt once, bro. They didn't punt one time.
I know, that's crazy.
Are you going to do that with Jaden? Maybe. If you are, it's going to be the same score, 34. Like Tyler said, it might be a little less, but they didn't punt once. And if you had 4 freaking turnovers, they had 4. Yeah, 2 of them were great picks by Bland and Curse.
Yeah, those weren't just like they gave us the ball. Those were good plays by the defense.
One of them they gave us the ball. The other one, I watched the replay. The last one that what's his name fumbled.
Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders.
Watkins hit it out of his hand, and it
Yeah, I
flew.
know. We
Yeah,
caused
so
that.
that's those three turnovers we caused. The other one that was on them, but nobody wants to give us credit, but I'm okay with that. I want to keep being the underdogs and keep saying, hey, we're not gonna if we get by the Bucks, then we'll see what we do against Philly and the rematch.
In Philly, though, that's the only
Philly.
thing.
Yeah, in Philly.
Do you believe we're not? Do you
Gotta
believe
be-
we're the best in the NFC? Or I mean, I'm not saying because we're all Cowboy fans here, but do you believe that, or do you believe San Francisco is? As of right now.
Right now, San Francisco is the best team in the NFC. Right now.
You
Right
admit
now,
it
right
right
now.
now? Yeah.
I think they probably are. They'll edge out us and the Eagles. I think Purdy's doing really well. He's a product of the system, but I think we can score in their D. I'm not saying 40 points, but look, the Eagles are top two? Well, number one, number two defense, passing defense, number one. I mean,
Yeah, we scored on them.
we scored on them. So
No reason why you can't score on San Francisco defense. I know they're physical and they're, they would give us a little problems with Dak sometimes, but I still feel like our offense could score on them big time, bro. I know how good they are.
So now we'll get into Kellen Moore. I think he did a great job. I give him, he did, 90. Let me get rid of this thing that's popped up. 90% of his game plan was awesome. There's some at the end. I don't know if you guys noticed at the end when we got that first interception by Bland. Yeah. That second interception we got by Bland, and then we got the ball, and it was like, I don't know, 3-something to go. And we started passing. I was like, dude, all you have to do is run. Make them use their timeouts. So I was like, damn. And then that one pass to double pass, Turpin to Dak, and Dak got sacked.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I was like, come on.
Oh, don't get me started.
Bro.
But hey, T, remember that one point? T, remember when we had a chance to nail the dagger when when Dak did the RPO, but he went outside.
I'm gonna get to that right now.
Turn inside,
look, so
hold on.
I'm gonna get to that right now. But Tyler, the gimmick play, go for it, because that was terrible.
Yeah, terrible.
They don't need him. They don't need him. They have a good enough offense that they can just run regular plays and be successful. Every time they run a gimmick play, I feel like we end up on 2nd and 20 or 2nd and 15.
I know. I agree with you.
We lose yards every time. I'm just enough with the gimmicks. Just run the offense.
Yep.
That's what I tell Ryan all the time. Why don't you just run in the middle?
I don't understand.
Goddamn.
The shitty thing about that is, I think when I look at it over and over again, I think Turpin had room.
Yeah.
I think he had like one guy he had to beat, and then he had blockers in front of him. And I think he had room if he was not to pass it back. So that's the scary thing right there.
Yeah.
And then, speaking of Turpin, I think they should use him more on.
I know they don't use him enough, man.
Just a little bit more, because he has that speed. He has the breakaway speed. He's dynamic in the open field. But Sean, CeeDee Lamb, number one receiver.
Oh yeah,
By far,
right? He's number one receiver. People were saying that he wasn't in the last few. Now he's got to be number one, right? He's number one.
He's number one now, man.
120 yards, 10 receptions. The guy catches in. Not only does he catch in space, he'll catch a slant down the middle, and he gets hit. He gets rocked.
Oh yeah,
and he still holds on the ball. Yeah, he gets rocked.
He does.
T, number one receiver.
Yep, he was in the question mark for me at the beginning of the season. I'm like, he hasn't done anything to like really show me that he's the number one yet, and he's shown me. I believe he's the number one receiver that we drafted, and he's consistent. He's been consistent this entire second half of the season. He's got 92 catches with 2 games left. How many touchdowns he got?
He has 92.
Touchdowns.
Oh, shit.
He's at like 8 or 9 touchdowns. He's got like 8 or 9 touchdowns. He's on pace for 1,400 receiving yards. I mean, that's a number one quality receiver.
All right, so let's get back into what I was talking about. You jumped the gun, but let's go into that last possession we had with Dak. I think it was 2:07 left, somewhere around there.
It was exactly 2:07.
First down, and perfect play call. Kellen Moore, give you props. He did the RPO, and Dak kept it. Went around the edge.
Yeah.
Fucker steps out of bounds with 2:01 to go.
He had the inside.
I look at both of my brothers, and my dad was there. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Bounce, Dak.
He probably could have scored too.
Slide. That's what I was saying. I was just saying slide. Slide. You go.
slide.
You go to 2 minutes. Guess what
Yeah.
happens? Then you can run. They got to use all their timeouts, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to have a chance to even get close to scoring a touchdown like they did because they're
Dude,
going to.
we gave them the ball.
First and goal would have been first.
We gave them the ball at
First and 10. He could
141.
have got another first down.
Right. So we got the ball at 207.
With two timeouts.
We had the ball at 207. We gave him the ball at 141 because Dak steps out of bounds.
Yeah.
And what's he do the next play? He takes the sack instead of throwing that at the end zone. Like he took like a 9-yard sack. I'm like, bro, all you had to do was throw it out of the end zone. Like
Because the clock would have stopped
it would
anyway.
have stopped anyway.
It's 2 minute warning.
2 minute warning. So then you're at
Right.
so now you're third down. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Are you, like it didn't make any sense to me. So this is where it scares me because although Dak had balled out, and we all know that could have cost us, right? Like that would have been talked about at the end of the game if we would have lost. It wouldn't have been what Dak did before that. It would have been how Dak's time management was terrible. So we have to clean that shit up because
But also, what do you think when you're an offense coordinator and you call that play into Dak's ear?
Right.
Do you tell him, "Hey, stay the fuck in bounds"?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't
you shouldn't have
but-
to. You're right. You shouldn't have to. He's a pro, but at the same time, I think a savvy offensive coordinator would have been like, "Stay your ass in bounds."
But why didn't Dak turn it in? Because there was that opening. If you saw it.
Okay, so I have a word for this, and this is why I've felt like Dak Prescott is not at the elite level yet. He has elite capabilities. He has an elite arm, right? He's got some legs, but he has what's called Dakisms. And these Dakisms are these mistakes that he just makes that can ruin his entire game, right? He can throw for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, but then he has this Dakism that blows the game. And running out of bounds with 2:01. And then on the next play, when the clock's going to stop anyways, taking a 9-yard sack. I mean, those are just like you said, if we would have lost that game, those would have been the two decisions that they talk about for Dak.
And I'm a stickler for that shit. I kept on talking about that after it was over. I think my other brother, Petey or Sean, kept on saying, "Okay, it's over. We just got to." But I couldn't get it out of my head, dude. I couldn't get out of my head that he would do something like that. It
bothers
crazy.
me.
I know.
It bothers me to this moment. These are the things that like Stephen A. Smith likes to talk about. He's like, just be patient. Just be patient.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, the Cowboys will find a way to let you down or whatever.
You know what? Get that shit out now. Get that shit out now, though.
Yeah, get it out now.
Get it out now.
That's what he's talking about. He's talking about those two plays. Those are the plays that he's talking about when it's like they can do everything right and then blow it at the end.
But you know what? He can say that about every team in the freaking NFL, dude. Because some teams gonna kind of blend it somewhere, you know.
And that's true. The only difference is this time we were able to get the win still.
Bro.
So hopefully he gets that shit out of his system and come playoffs he corrects that shit because
was anybody in here were you afraid that Minshew was going to go down and score? Because I saw nothing. I saw nothing because we didn't stop them all. They didn't punt once. I thought they were going to score.
I'm like minute 44, 2 timeouts. I was like, they're 100% going to score, and they're going to make the extra points. So we're going to lose.
I was like,
but I had a little feeling that the defense was going to feed off, the offense. And then I know they didn't score, but I had a feeling that the defense was going to take it upon themselves to make a play.
Up until he threw it away on fourth, well, he just threw out the end zone. Fourth down, I thought they were going to score
because we were getting in there on those downs in there. I mean, not stacking them, but we were in his face.
Everybody saw Michael Parsons wanting a timeout, right?
Yeah.
He was like, oh, bro, I need a timeout, bro. Give me a timeout.
It was smart by McCarthy to let him come up to the line, give him like another 30, 45 seconds, and then call the timeout.
I watched the replay. And I watched McCarthy. He stood right by the official, and he's talking to them. And then he let them go into the cadence, and he's like, all right, timeout. So, yeah, you're right. That was smart. You got to give McCarthy props sometimes, right?
That's a savvy head coaching move.
Yeah. Well,
or you're looking at the TV going, he's calling for asking for a timeout. Give him a freaking timeout, right?
Yeah.
But then he waits and waits and waits and waits. Another 35, 45 seconds goes and calls the timeout. That was
hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
You been hearing the news about all those rumors about Sean Payton?
Yeah, but you know what? Fuck that shit. We don't need to worry about that shit right now. I mean, if McCarthy doesn't get us that NFC championship, like T said, it could happen. It might happen. If it happens, it happens. We'll get Sean Payton, but we still got to worry about Dan Quinn because they're talking about him or Kellen Moore going to the Broncos. Kellen Moore can go.
Oh,
I would
shit.
love to keep down a DQ, but I don't know. We'll see. But we got about a minute left, and we're going to get into the all-important predictions. I haven't even thought about this game because it's Thursday. I haven't even thought about a score.
I know.
But before we do, comment, subscribe, hit the like button, beat the algorithms. So I'm going to start with you, Oi, Lucha Libre Oi. What is your prediction for Thursday night's game?
Oh, dude, we go into Tennessee. We fucking romp them 31-14.
All right, Sean, what's your prediction?
36-24, Cowboys.
36. Damn, there you go. T, what's your prediction?
27-17 Cowboys.
Ooh, 20. That's a low scoring now because their run defense is good. Their pass defense sucks.
Yeah,
I think they're going to run the ball a lot. They're
Trevor Lawrence threw 370 on them.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 31-20. I think they're going to give them the garbage time points at the end. So I'm gonna go 31-20. We win, and then we probably sit our guys for the last game against Washington, get people healthy, and that's the way it's gonna be. But time to go. Dallas Cowboys take Sean T. Lucha Libre Oi. We'll see what happens Thursday.
Saints to upset Philly. We need the Saints to upset Philly.
We need the Saints to upset Philly. And we'll see what happens.
And
it's
we
gonna
need
be
Green
crazy.
Bay to upset Minnesota.
That'd be crazy too. It's gonna be if Philly gets upset, it's gonna be crazy. Giants have a shot.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Dallas